Hello my fellow soldiers at war, I am Rhino and I bring you another Squad 44 aka Post Scriptum tutorial video today. Today we are going to talk about the various soldier roles and their uses in Squad 44. After the recent Steam Autumn sale, we've got ourselves a lot of fresh recruits who are joining us in the front lines, and a proper training is required for them to survive this bitter war in Europe. You can also check out my previous tutorial video where I talk about the top 10 tips for beginners before watching this one. You can click on that notification popping out at the top right corner there to watch that video. Now without any further ado, let's talk about the different soldier classes we have in Squad 44. Excluding the commander, logistics and tank crew, there are 10 classes within a regular infantry squad in Squad 44. I'll make a separate video on them as this video will get very lengthy if I include them all at once. Let's start off with the most important role in a squad, the squad leader. As a squad leader, it is obviously your job to lead your squad, but it is also very important to know all the basic functions that a squad leader is capable of. For new players, I would suggest you to at least have around 10 to 20 hours of game time in Squad 44 before you take up this role. So it is very important to know how the game works before you lead on as a squad leader. To be an effective squad leader, you need to have a working microphone at all times and should be able to communicate with your squad mates and to other squads while in the game. The default keys for VoIP are V for proximity radio channel, B for squad radio channel, and G for command radio channel, where you can talk to your commander and other sections in game. As a squad leader, you are equipped with an automatic weapon, one sidearm, and other basic equipments along with a binocular which you can use to spot enemy forces and mark other important elements in the battlefield. To use the radial menu, simply press and hold T and use a mouse to put various markers. You can also use the radial menu to place strategic defenses available within the building section, and to do so you also need supplies in that area to be able to build anything. You can use the command radio to ask for supplies from the commander. As a squad leader, you can also place rally points while being close to a radioman or two other squad members. The rally point can also be refreshed by you from the radio menu in case if the radioman is not available, but you need to be close to the rally point in order to refresh it. As a squad leader, you are responsible for the lives of your squad mates. So make sure you strategize before you make any kind of move into the enemy territory. Those were some of the basic tips on how to squad lead, but to explain the squad leader role properly, I'll make a separate elaborate video on it. Now let's talk about the most ignored role in Post Scriptum, the Rifleman. The other special roles always attract players, but the Rifleman role always gets ignored or is not desired by the players most of the time. As a rifleman, you get a bolt-action rifle or a semi-automatic rifle like a Garand as US forces. But this role can be very effective if you really want it to. The bolt-action rifles might be slower, but they are very effective against your targets at medium and long ranges. You can easily one-shot enemies with these rifles from a distance, and if you position yourself properly, then you can be very effective against the enemies. It is not advised to assault the enemy capture points as a rifleman in most of the times, but you can position yourself slightly away from the fight and can be very effective while hiding in the bushes, for example. It is easier to shoot your targets from a static position as a rifleman than it is to shoot them while moving. Next up, we have the combat medic. As a combat medic, you can actually help change the tide of war. You are equipped with a rifle, a sidearm, and you also have more morphine and bandages in your possession as a combat medic. Make sure to put some smoke up ahead in front of the dead bodies before you push up to them to bandage them or revive them. Now we come to our second most important role in a squad, the radioman. As a radioman, it is your primary job to keep your ears close to your squad leader and to listen to his directions every time. Squad leaders will mostly use you to place a rally point for your squad to spawn in. Also keep in mind that the squad leaders from the other sections can also use a radio to place their rally points. So don't hesitate if a stranger is asking you for your radio. A Radioman is equipped with a semi-automatic rifle in their inventory, which can be very effective, so make sure to stay close to your squad leader to become a formidable force against the enemy. Next up, we have one of the most vulnerable yet most effective role in the squad, the machine gunner. As a machine gunner, you either are equipped with a medium machine gun like the Browning M1919 or a light machine gun like the BAR. Now both these machine guns are very effective at suppressing enemy forces. The only difference both types of guns are the number of rounds they hold, so make sure to use them accordingly. The BAR is to be used for assaulting the enemy positions while on the move, and on the other hand, the medium machine guns like the M1919 are used from mounted stands and with the help of a bipod, and cannot be shot using the iron sights like the BAR. As a machine gunner, your primary objective is to lay down suppressing fire against the enemy. Remember, getting kills comes second. Helping your squad teammates make it across a pontoon bridge or assault an enemy outpost is more important than getting kills. You only need to fire at a general location of the enemy to instill fear in them, and the suppression effects on the receiving end is immense. Tanks can be a huge problem when it comes to defending or attacking an objective, which brings us to our next role, the anti-tank soldier. As an anti-tank soldier, you are equipped with anti-tank rocket launchers like the M1A1 bazooka or the Panzerfaust. You also get anti-tank mines, bundle grenades to take out the tanks. As an anti-tank soldier, it is your job to keep your ears open to grab any information you can to locate an active tank in the battlefield and destroy it as soon as possible. To be an effective AT soldier, always make sure to bring another teammate, preferably the Sapper, along with you, because sometimes you might encounter an mechanized infantry, where there are usually some infantry soldiers who come along with the tank to protect it. Always aim at the tank's vulnerable parts like the engine block, ammo rack, and the tracks to disable it as fast as possible. And also make sure to keep an eye out for those angry tank crewmen who often jump out of their tanks to kill you. Next up, we have the Grenadier. As a Grenadier, you are equipped with a rifle grenade launcher and also hand grenades. You can be very effective with that rifle grenade if you know where to shoot at. The rifle grenades can be very useful to take out stubborn enemies hiding behind hard cover. Now let's talk about the most sought role in a squad, the sniper. The sniper role is the most desired role in a squad, but it's no use if you don't know how to use this deadly weapon in Squad 44. To be an effective sniper, you need to move one step ahead of the enemy. Always try to sneak behind or onto the flanks of the enemy. You may have to work silently and away from your squad, but never forget that you are also a part of the squad. So make sure to call in enemy positions to your squad mates. There is a reason the sniper is called the recon. And sometimes you also might have to assault along with them into an objective in case if they need some extra soldiers to capture an objective faster. With your powerful scope, you'll have to take some precise shots at the enemy soldier from a considerable distance. So don't forget to use the zeroing in your scope by holding X and scrolling your mouse. Now we come to the soldier who completes the AT soldier, the Sapper. The Sapper can be very effective when they work alongside with an AT soldier. They can take out the heaviest of tanks in minutes if they stick together. As a Sapper, you are equipped with a submachine gun, a TNT or satchel charge, and some AT grenades like the Gammon grenades. While the Sapper can take out tanks, the Sapper can also easily take out enemy FOBs by using the satchel or TNT charges on them. So whenever your SL asks you to hunt down an enemy FOB, make sure to save your satchel charge for it. The last but not the least, we have the light mortar. As the mortar soldier, you are equipped with a light mortar which can be deployed anywhere in the battlefield. The preferable location being away from the fighting and outside in an open area with no houses or trees around. You will also need some supplies in the area to deploy your mortar and some to refill your ammunition. Once deployed, you can use the mortar by pressing F and entering it. You can check the milliradians and range on the left side of your screen. To calculate the distance, you will have to coordinate with your squad leader and also by checking your map, where you can find the distance of each grid in the map at the bottom right corner. This is a slightly complicated procedure, so I'll put a link for a video on how to use a mortar, which is made by a fellow YouTuber called Miha, down in the description. Mortars are mainly used on objectives to destroy the defending enemy or in front of a friendly objective to defend it from an attacking enemy force. So always make sure you don't have any friendlies in your fire radius. And that concludes my tutorial and introduction to each role in a squad in Squad 44. Now the commander and squad leader role needs separate tutorial video to explain them properly to you guys, so I'll make sure to drop them as soon as possible. Till then, stay healthy and keep hunting. Rhino signing out.